So to start out on my client today, I am carving out a thin section of hair, roughly probably like 1/8 of an inch deep, if you will. And I just find that taking that section first like that just keeps things a little more organized. And then now I'm going to start separating it into about 1/4 inch subsections so that I can place beads on each of those to create the foundation for the natural beaded row extensions. This technique is very repetitive, if you will, so I'm not gonna, talk throughout the whole thing. But what I do love about this technique is that there's no heat and there's no glue involved. And also there's really no tension done on the hair if it's done correctly. And as you can see, my client is very comfortable when I'm doing this. She's not like moving like her head as if it's too tight or anything. You never want these beads to be so tight that it's ripping their own hair out. So yeah, so I'm gonna continue, going section by section around her head, carving out that slice first, and then I'll be placing the beads onto each of the subsections. So as I turn her here, you're gonna get to see those little sections that I'm putting the beads on. I like to double bead. I just find that for clients that are a little rougher on their hair, and even clients who have finer hair, it's just a little bit more security for them. And who doesn't want that? You want these installs to last. You don't want them to be falling out. But as you can see, carving out that section first and then creating your little sections that you put the beads on, it just keeps everything really neat and organized. Another thing I like to do is I section the hair on top wherever, like above the top row is going to be, and I actually leave that hair wet while I'm working because I find that it helps just hold the flyaways. As you can see here, all the beads were nice and organized. Everything was evenly spaced apart. And then to start off the weft, I go through the edge of the weft twice. I'm going to go through the root of the hair on that first beaded section and back through the weft and knot it off. And this is the way that I like to start my wefts. I find that it creates a really secure stitch. And then I'm going to go through each beaded base on each side of the bead. When I pull the needle through the loop, I also like to wrap the thread around 2 to 3 times, which is called bunny looping. And that just creates an even more secure stitch. And I do this on every stitch because I really want these installs to last and that the clients never have to worry about if an install is going to fall out on them. And just to talk about the hair real quick, I do tend to use virgin or raw hair more than I ever use Remy hair, only because it's just better quality in my opinion. This is Brazilian loose wave, I believe it is, and it's 26 inches long. It's my favorite texture because you could blow it out really straight, or you could blow it out and do beach waves or curls, and it's gonna hold it forever. Like, this hair holds curls amazing. So as I get to the other side of the head, I continue the same process, and then once I get to the end of the weft, I'm gonna go through the weft, go through the root of that first beaded section and back through the weft just to secure it off. Again, this is just what I like to do. There's many ways to tie down the edges of your weft to keep them nice and secure, but this is just what works for me and works for my clients. So you're about to see me do that coming up right here. So I just went through the weft. I'm going to go through the root and back through and tie it off. I then like to go in and I like to add in a third weft, but I like to add that third weft in about 1.5 inches behind the edge of those first 2 wefts on that track, just so that it keeps the flatness right around the face. So it's gonna end about 1.5 inches before the actual edge of the weft. And I go through the weft there too, just so I could secure the edge of that, because we don't want that to flap up and create a little horn. That's just not cute. And then I'm gonna just go through and thread and secure that third piece of weft until I get to the other side. Most installs usually take me anywhere from about 1 hour to 1.5 hours. It depends on how many rows. This client was getting 2 rows and it took me about 45 minutes because she has a lot of hair. So as I come up to the edge of that third weft that I'm adding in, I'm going to go through the weft that was originally sewed on that goes all the way around, through that third weft, and I'm going to go around again. And I usually tie it off about 3 to 4 times. I just find that it keeps it secure, and you can see here everything's neat and tidy. It's not going to go anywhere, and it's perfect.